Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. This is our daily NBA show that we've been doing with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Today is Tuesday, February 10th, and we're coming off another successful day. Right now, our records stand at Joe Duffy 13-7 against the spread, and I'm 12-8 against the spread. So those are good records. Last Tuesday, though, we had an awful day, so hope we don't repeat that again. Joe Duffy, thanks for being back with us.
Tell me why I don't like Tuesdays. No, we're not going to repeat it, baby. Thank you for having me, Mr. Loshak.
Before we get to today's card, just tell everyone how you're doing at OffshoreInsiders.com. A lot of people are quite impressed. 13-7 in our show. That's 65%. Are you doing that well at your site with your premium picks as well?
Actually better. Bada bing, bada boom. 7-2 with Wise Guy plays recently, but long-term 105-74. Now, that's not at 67%, but we're talking about ROI, and units won is much better. And we've got a beautiful portfolio for tonight. 2 Wise Guy plays among 4 winners, college basketball and the NBA at OffshoreInsiders.com.
Once again, that NBA winner that Joe has at his website will not be his top play here. He gives us his plays right below his top plays. I, of course, give whatever I can, the top plays that I can think of each card. But you still expect to do well with your picks, even though these aren't technically your absolute best plays every day, right?
Just like, you know, a decent game from Michael Jordan in his prime is better than a great game from anybody else. I mean, you know, it ain't bragging if you can do it, as Muhammad Ali once said.
All right. Well, let's get to the card then. 5 games on the card tonight, Tuesday, February 10th. You know, as usual, kind of tricky lines. I'm thinking about what I might like. I think there's only one that I'm really leaning towards. Maybe I'll pass. I have the freedom of passing on these cards. And I'm thinking maybe, though, about taking the Lakers, right? -1.5. Denver's on a back-to-back, so that's kind of an obvious public thing to do. Bet against team, it's on a back-to-back. But, you know, Denver's off a high-scoring game. They're not a very good team against the spread at all. In fact, they've lost their last 6 in a row against the spread. And the Lakers, you know, lost 3 of their last 4, but that's why they're such a small favorite at home here. They're a young team. Maybe they'll fight for a win at home against a very beatable opponent. Denver on a back-to-back, lost 6 in a row against the spread, on the road getting just 1.5. Maybe I'll take the Lakers -1.5. What do you think, Joe?
That would certainly be a strong lean. I had that a check mark next to the LA Lakers myself. Denver, they're 9-21 recently. Of course, that's ATS by an average. Sweat barometer, as some people like to call it. I called it the margin of cover for years, -3.7, but that includes 6 straight, and the losses by an average of 10.88 to the number. Again, we're talking about not straight up, but ATS. And when a team is not only not covering, but not covering by wide margins, that is usually a very good precursor for a team that is overvalued, that the odds makers are behind. But what does make me a little nervous, the Lakers, the last 5 games, do have the 3rd worst defensive efficiency ranking, where they're allowing 109.3 points per 100 possessions, and the 2nd worst net rating at -8.6. So again, the net rating is the difference between offensive and defensive efficiency, which is based on points per 100 possessions. However, Denver, conversely, they've got the worst net rating over the last 15 games at -9.4. So, yeah, with a small number, would still say the Lakers are a high percentage play. It's not even an official free play, but I do agree with your pick.
I'm just going to stick with one pick, the Lakers -1.5. And Joe Duffy, what do you have for us today, February 10th?
Well, I actually have a couple total plays. I'm going to go with Detroit and Charlotte to go under the total. Charlotte without Kemba Walker, they have gone under 6 of 7 without him, but they've got the best defensive efficiency in the league in the last 5 games, for allowing only 92.9 points per 100 possessions. On the other hand, they've got the 2nd worst offensive efficiency in their last 15 games, getting 95.8 points per 100 possessions. So it's no surprise that the Hornets, or Charlotte, is going keep you know, got to have problems keeping track of the Hornets and the Bobcats. Charlotte, though, going under 10-2 the last 12. Yeah, they confused me. It took me forever to get the Rams and the Cardinals straight, but that's another story altogether. But anyway, Charlotte is going under 10-2 the last 12, 3 times by at least 30 points. They've gone under. In fact, their last 11 games have gone under by an average of 9.3, and that includes the couple overs. So they're going under the total by a mile. They're only averaging 178.4 total points scored per game over that 11-game span. So I'm going to go with the under there.
I'm not so sure about that one. The Hornets went, they went over in their last game after a long run of unders. Detroit went over in 4 of their last 5, and the total is not very high at all, 192.5. It's gone up a bit. So, you might get an under on this one, but my feeling is you're going to be sweating it at best. And just the way the Hornets' last game went, and comparing it with the way Detroit's games have gone, their last 5 games, that one makes me nervous. I kind of feel like I want to talk you out of it.
Well, I will say that, for years and years, we all have certain biases, and a bias that I had to get rid of is I used to be terrified to bet low totals under and high totals over, but as computer programs have gotten more sophisticated, I found certain situations where it is a good thing to do that. Remember, Detroit, they're, of course, without Brandon Jennings, they are adjusting for him, but you're talking about each team minus a key weapon that they've had this year. So, yeah, I know it is a very low total, and the bottom line is from a promotional standpoint, as a handicapper, you like to brag about a game covering easily. But the truth is the best gamblers get those close games that we sweat out because we find where a line is off by only a couple points. And that's really where the high percentage plays come in. So, I know I have a friend who says it's no fun unless you can sweat it out. Yeah, we may have to sweat out the under, especially in the NBA where you got the bombing and fouling, which is the most frustrating types of losses when you've got an under on a total and it winds up going over because of, the teams are just bombing and fouling at the end. But still, the high percentage play, I do believe, is the under.
All right, Joe. I ain't afraid to bet an under on a low total. I'm saying in this game, it makes me nervous in light of how these teams have gone. I mean, Charlotte had no problem going into 200 last game. I think it was against Indiana, not an explosive scoring team. And Detroit is starting to play a little bit looser on offense, over in 4 of their last 5. This is very eclipsable, Joe, but you're going to stick with it, huh?
No, it definitely is, and you're right. Charlotte has been an interesting team where they've either gone under by fairly large margins or over by fairly large margins, but fortunately, they've gone under by pretty large margins a lot more often than the latter. But yeah, there's no, it's not like this is a 60% probability, but I would put it at right around 55% probability that the game goes under the total.
All right, Joe, 192.5. If you want it, you got it. If you want to take it back, let me know before the end of this call. And what's your second pick that you want to give for us today?
All right. Well, I'm fear not. I'm going to go with another under. So we'll see if you talk me out of this. Sacramento and Chicago under the total. I know the Kings, Darren Collison, he's questionable. He's probably going to play, but he may be limited. They have gone under all 4 without him, which, of course, as I said, he's probably going to play. But in the event he doesn't, it makes it a little stronger. Rudy Gay is questionable. They've gone under all 4 without him. But keep in mind that you want to talk about a regression of the mean. The Bulls remain the top over team in the NBA, going over by an average of 4.8. But they've gone under 4 straight by 12.5 average, and under 8 of 2 overall. And Sacramento is going under 6 straight by an average of 16.58. So, we're talking about a case where all of a sudden there's a little bit of regression of the mean where the Bulls have been such a big over team. But lately, both teams are certainly trending under, and not just when it comes to mere spread trends, but the more important margin of cover or sweat barometer, if you will. Both of these teams have been clear under teams recently.
That one makes me very nervous as well. Right now we have 197 or 197.5, so we can give you 197.5 for the under. But I mean, we know what the deal is with Sacramento, right? Taking unders with them, they could easily just show up for this game and not necessarily not compete, but just compete only on offense and just stop playing defense completely, and the game goes way into the 200s. This one makes me nervous as well, Joe Duffy, but you want to take both these unders, huh?
Yeah, and I really think that Chicago, look, they're a team that, if healthy, and you can say that about every team, but Chicago, of course, obviously more so with Rose. I think if they're going to be a dark horse team that could go deep in the playoffs, they know that they've got to tighten it up on defense, and they seem to be ramping it up a little bit defensively. So, yeah, no, I'm not going to be talked out of either one of these plays.
I guess we got it. These are our picks for the Tuesday card. I'm on the Lakers, -1.5. Joe Duffy liking the under in Detroit, Charlotte, 192.5, and the under in Sacramento, Chicago, under 197.5. I'm just hoping that you come out 1-1 at least with these 2 picks. Then I'll be all right. I'd hate to see you have an 0-2 day, Joe. But even if you do, you'll still have a great record overall in our videos.
Yeah, no, they're both going to go under. Let's not sweat it.
All right, Joe. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.